Welcome to the Self-Hypnosis for Calm and Confidence workshop. I'm so glad you're tuning in on the replay and to get to share this with you. I wanted to say one thing before jumping into the workshop, and that is that I'm a beginner using Zoom to film things, and I filmed it while looking at the computer in gallery view, which means that a lot of times it looks like I'm looking down, kind of like I'm looking at a laptop or something like that. And I just feel so badly because I know there are a lot of people watching on replay, and I want you to feel like you're also being spoken to. So I just wanted to say something about that, to that effect. And I hope you enjoy the workshop and that you get a lot out of it, and that you especially participate in the guided self-hypnosis so that you can experience it and also can practice it for yourself on your own. And please feel free to get in touch if you have any questions, and I would love to support you with either self-hypnosis training or to support you with change and transformation for yourself with hypnotherapy. So I hope you enjoy the workshop. So hello and welcome everybody. I am so excited to get to share this with you today. When I decided to, or when I had the idea to offer this, it was after an experience I had with this technique that a mentor of mine guided me in. And I've done a lot of hypnosis and self-hypnosis at this point, and it was just such a lovely, simple technique that I was just rather enchanted and very impressed with the simplicity of it. And in our day and age of having more upon more upon more presented to us as things that we can do for our well-being and our health, it's just wonderful to have a technique that's super simple that we could even adapt as we need to and draw on. So in a little while, I'll guide you through this. It'll be guided self-hypnosis, but this is something that you can listen to on replay as a recording. I might actually isolate it as just an audio that can be used without the video, because I think that would be really nice. But I will go into a little bit about hypnosis for those of you who are unfamiliar. Good to see the people that are just arriving, some familiar faces again. So a little bit about hypnosis. So hypnosis is surrounded with myths and intrigue going way, way back, and it actually has its roots in ancient civilizations when the state of trance has been used just for millennia probably as for spiritual rituals and experiences. And it's an extremely common state that we actually experience just in a mundane kind of way with when we are waking up in the morning and we're still a little groggy, going in between sleep and wake. That's actually a kind of trance state. Or when we're drifting off to sleep and we kind of in between that state of wakefulness and complete sleep, that's a trance state. Or those times, I don't know, does anybody remember being a child? Those endless car rides where you're just bored out of your mind. You're like staring, it seems like, the are we there yet? I don't know if kids today have that same experience of boredom that many of us older people did. But that could be, there's even a term for it called highway hypnosis, where I've had this experience a number of times, and it's very strange when I am driving along a very familiar route usually, and I can't remember the last stretch of highway that I experienced, where all of a sudden I'm home and it's like, wow, how did that happen? Or even getting disoriented, like, where am I right now? And it's like somewhere on, 80 between Sacramento and Roseville. Losing track of time can be a hypnotic state, becoming very absorbed in things. And in this state of trance, the mind is also more suggestible. This is why, like, if we're in a movie theater and we get absorbed in, say, a very intense drama or a scary movie, we're so absorbed that our emotions are even more accessible, or, we startle, when there's a scene that is kind of scary. So just even presenting ourselves with this imaginary thing happening on this big wall in front of us can have profound influence on our body and our mind, and sometimes even stay with us long beyond the time that we had that experience. A lot of people will recount experiences from childhood. Unfortunately, these tend to be, the things that kind of get into, like, I think the movie Jaws spoiled the ocean for a lot of people. Because there's this, they even compounded the intensity of it all with the kind of soundtrack. So there was, like, not only the visual, but the auditory, and this kind of immersion in the senses. The more of the senses that you could bring into the experience, the more powerful the mind is going to be impressed. So the cool thing is that we can draw on this for our own well-being, actually, to even know that our mind can be impressionable like this. Of course, with, a hypnotherapy session, a hypnotist would be, on board to support a client to maybe address some, very challenging types of issues that are going on. But for personal growth purposes, it can be phenomenally beneficial for things like today's topic of calm and confidence, but it could be anything that you would like to anchor for yourself as an intention or a support or a resource. And I think you'll see that what we're going to do today is very adaptable. And it's much more, I think it's important to note that the process, having an intention for what you want, what do you want to get out of it? Or what are you hoping to build and experience more of in your life? And the process for getting there. So that's, in some ways, I think that's the true art of hypnosis, is being able to navigate from this waking state of consciousness into this state where the mind is more suggestible. And it's very easy, and those of you who are meditators have had this type of experience when we do, like, a guided meditation, or maybe you've had progressive relaxation kind of experiences. So the thing is that it's more than just a relaxation experience. It's getting into that state and then being able to navigate and affirm certain things for yourself in that. And it's nice if you can listen to it, or to be guided is really kind of a precious experience. And again, when you're experiencing this in a hypnotherapy session, the hypnotherapist supports the process, so you can work with much more complex and challenging types of, life issues or personal challenges or health things going on. So it's lovely in its simplicity, and I was writing in my newsletter about how you can do this in 90 seconds or less. And the way that I guide it is going to be in more than 90 seconds because you'll get a full experience of, number one, kind of slowing it down so that you can really appreciate the stages. But I've gotten to the point where this mentor that I have, her name is Sandra Grace. She's a wonderful, wonderful teacher of mine. She was advising me to do this for myself 3 times a day right now, for something that I'm working with in myself, and it's doable. And what's nice about this is I know there's a lot of people here who practice mindfulness meditation. We always say any amount of meditation is good, no amount is too small. And it's really how you use your time with it, that kind of focused attention that supports supports your well-being and however you're trying to support yourself that way. And so the intention is a lot of it, and the confidence that you could work on today with our topic of calm and confidence. But once you get the system down and you know the stages, just trust. This is maybe the growing edge of things like self-hypnosis, is to be able to develop a sense of trust in your ability to support your mind this way. Because the more trust that we can build in our own unconscious mind to support us, because this is the thing that really stayed with me and got me really, really interested in hypnosis, is a belief that the unconscious mind always has our best interest in mind. Its number one priority is our safety and our wellness. Sometimes it develops habits and patterns that are not helpful to us, not supportive. And that's usually just kind of, in a way, it becomes misguided in some way, or it hasn't quite caught up with, the fact that we've grown up, or some other thing has changed in our life where now we need something different. So the fact that we are our own best friend, really, this is, our consciousness is, think about it. There was a time before you were born where all kinds of people were alive in the world and doing things. And then, we were conceived and eventually born and come into this world blinking and completely new, and our bodies and brains developed and allow us to perceive and process and change and grow. And our consciousness kind of grew with us. So it's really quite amazing that we come into this world and gain consciousness and grow in our consciousness. And it's a very natural state to be able to navigate this and to then feel the profound effects of what it can bring. It can be very, very powerful. So why don't we get started? Why don't we just start to move in the direction of some practice? And what I'm going to suggest is, if you can, and I'm saying this also especially for people who are watching on the replay, is to do this in a way where you can be, if possible, seated. You could do it lying down too, but the main thing I'm going to ask is that you position your hands so that they're facing palms down. So either palms down on your legs or palms down on the bed alongside you, or couch if you're on the couch, or the floor. And I'm going to say something about why I chose this topic of calm and confidence. Calm and confidence, I have had the biggest response to this workshop that I've had from any other workshop that I've put out, like a free kind of workshop. And so I think it's relatable to most people as something so beneficial and so needed and elusive at times. We could be the most confident person in a certain area of our life and then be hit with maybe a stressful circumstances or something going on in our lives, something new, where we don't feel confident at all. And sometimes we feel that lack of confidence at a time when we're really growing, and we're growing into something new, our growing edge around developing a talent or learning something, or perhaps we need to perform and really be at our best for something, whether it's something pleasant or unpleasant, where we really want to be able to have that kind of inner strength or a sense of our own center, whatever it might be for you. In fact, before we guide into the self-hypnosis, go ahead and I'll invite you to close your eyes, but of course they don't have to be closed, but I'll invite you to close your eyes and just take a moment to identify an area for you where you'd like to feel a little more confident. And not just confident, but a calm confidence. calm confidence. So this is the kind of confidence that's rooted deeply in self-trust. Deeply in self-trust, and that sense of knowing what you know, knowing yourself and your values and your intentions. And recognizing what's most essential for yourself. What is it that you're wanting to express through your own vitality right now in the world, or in these particular circumstances, whatever is coming to mind where you're needing some calm and confidence. And then if your eyes are closed, I invite you to open them again for a bit. And so calm itself is also something that we can support just in and of itself. You know, anybody could relate to at times wanting to feel more calm, and it could be when things are stressful, or it could be just as a way of being that we think would support our wellness and wholeness just on the average day when maybe there's nothing really big that's going on. So these are very essential and very relatable, and very also tied in with things like stress and health challenges and emotional challenges and whatever the life conditions are that we find ourselves in. I think historically there has probably never been a time when there wasn't something stressful happening at somewhere. So go ahead and make yourself comfortable. Close your eyes again. And we do this with the self-hypnosis because it supports shifting gears, letting go of the things that have been going on up until this point. And it's a way to make this kind of transition quickly. So you could be anywhere doing anything, and you close your eyes, and this is already evoking a different state than when we're taking in what's around us. And so palms face down, the spine straight but relaxed, the head evenly balanced over the shoulders, supported. And start taking some long, deep breaths. And in a moment, not quite yet, but in a moment, I'm going to invite you to open your eyes. And when you do, you'll gaze upward with your chin staying where it is, gazing upwards and pushing your eyes all the way up, almost as if you're looking up at the crown of your head. And so again, so now take a nice deep breath. And open the eyes, holding your breath, gazing upwards, keeping your chin where it is, and gazing up higher and higher. Just push your eyes as though you were looking way over your head. And then exhaling slowly, allowing the eyelids to close. And we'll do this again. Take another breath, and then holding the breath, opening the eyes, gazing up above you, push the eyes up, looking higher and higher and higher, gazing upwards, And then closing the eyes as you release the breath, slowly exhaling. Now taking another deep breath in and hold it as you open the eyes, looking up even higher. Push your eyes as though looking on the, almost trying to look at the wall behind you. And then letting the eyelids close and exhaling so softly that it's like nobody would even be able to see you exhale. You're exhaling so softly. And just breathing naturally. Just notice how good it feels to let this oxygen flow through your body. And as you breathe, just begin relaxing every muscle, starting at the top of your head, just moving down, relaxing your scalp, muscles of the forehead and face and ears, the eyebrows and eyelids, let your nose and cheeks and jaw relax. And let all the little muscles in your mouth and your tongue soften. And even your eyes, letting them relax so deeply, as though every tiny muscle is completely relaxed. It's like the strings of a curtain being cut, and they just stay in this relaxed, closed state, and they're so relaxed. They're so relaxed, it's almost like they just won't work. You can even show yourself how relaxed they are. And when you notice how relaxed they are, just invite that relaxation to flow through your body, all the way down into the fingertips, flowing down your neck and across your chest, into your abdomen. And even every internal organ relaxes. Notice how wonderful this feels. Just taking this moment just for you. And let this relaxation spread to your back, down your spine, all the way down to the feet. And sitting, feeling supported by the chair, or the bed, or the floor, wherever you are. Every muscle relaxed. Imagine that there's a beautiful, soft blanket of love and security resting across your lap. And just the perfect temperature. And if you'd like, you can even imagine flipping it up over your shoulders. It's the kind of blanket that smells really good, and just imagine how good it smells. It smells so good you can almost taste it. And so this relaxed awareness, it just flows around you, through you. And the more you relax, the better you feel, and the better you feel, the more you drop into this state of wellness, empowerment. And now bring awareness to your hands, starting with the left hand. Just shift your attention to your left pinky finger. And as you do, when you hear the phrase, "I am calm and confident," just press down on that little finger so subtly that no one would notice. I am calm and confident. Move attention to the left ring finger. Press it down and think, I am calm and confident. And the middle finger, pressing, I am calm and confident. And the index finger, pressing, I am calm and confident. Now move your attention to your left thumb, pressing, I am calm and confident. And then it moves over to the right thumb, pressing, I am calm and confident. And press your right index finger down. I am calm and confident. And the right middle finger, pressing, I am calm and confident. And the ring finger, pressing, I am calm and confident. And the right pinky finger, I am calm and confident. Just imagine how this calm energy would look if it was bright colors like the rainbow or whatever colors feel most calm and confident, flowing through your body, from your toes to the crown of your head, centering you and grounding you in the present moment. Every fear melts away as you radiate calm and confidence. And as it flows through your body and you keep radiating this calm and confidence, picturing, imagine, just imagine taking one step after another, picturing yourself moving about in the world, calm and confident. Maybe doing something you love, calm and confident. Confident in the calm and confidence. Moving closer and closer to this lifestyle that you choose, supporting calm and confidence, loving and caring for yourself, calm and confident. And with each breath you breathe, breathing in this life force energy, breathing in and breathing out. This energy flows all the way up to the crown of your head, and then down and around through your body. You're always supported. It feels amazing to be connected to the power of your own inner wisdom, your own vitality, calm and confident, knowing you can come back here anytime, calm and confident. Now even picture yourself all the way in the evening when you go to bed, finally snuggling down in bed, feeling calm and confident, eventually drifting off to sleep with calm and confidence. So now it'll be time to start making your way back out of this state. Just let yourself do it by just starting to move your eyelids, like starting to slowly blink. And just blinking, starting maybe tiny little blinks, moving into bigger blinks. Just slowly making your way back out from that deeper state of consciousness that we call trance to this waking state of consciousness that in some ways is its own form of trance. Thank you. So, I would love to know some of the things that you noticed, and why don't we use the chat feature for this? Go ahead and write down some things in the chat, or even if you just kind of write them down for yourself if you have something to write with. But what I'd like to know is if you notice some of the ways that your body was choosing hypnosis, the experience of hypnosis, and the ways that you might have noticed your body responding to the power of suggestion, which is hypnosis, would be becoming more calm. If you feel your body relaxing, you may have felt your eyes heavy, your eyelids heavy and relaxed. Yes, deep relaxation, alert and in control, calm. So the kinds of things that were supported with the guidance and through the power of your own mind to be able to influence your own well-being, that's the power of suggestion. That's the power of hypnosis, of self-hypnosis. I think we take for granted that we can do this kind of thing. I mean, we experience it with things like anxiety, where we can think our way into an anxious state. To be able to appreciate that we can think our way into a calm state or a confident state, it's pretty powerful. I'm curious, just raise your hand if you notice that your hands are feeling warmer right now. Anybody noticing that? Yeah, so there's some relaxation right there, right? I see Zoom raised my hand for me there. So yes, so being able to recognize how powerfully we can influence our own state through the mind. Let's see, let me read what some of the things in the chat. You saw something, you saw like a slowly spinning tunnel, relaxing physically, feeling grounded, slowed down breathing. Yes. Yeah. It can be a little bit like the way we feel when we're getting ready to drift off to sleep. Yeah, so, sometimes, of course, just like with meditation, we might fall asleep while we're doing something like self-hypnosis. And I think it's not uncommon for people to practice, in the evening when they, want to drift off to sleep, or when you're before taking a nap or something like that. But so also, like with meditation, that we can gain a greater and greater facility to go in and out of these states. When I've been to hypnosis conferences, it's kind of funny to me, because we'll be in like getting a training or a workshop or something, and the hypnotist presenting will just say, he'll say, okay, everybody, you've done this before, just take yourself into trance. And the whole audience is like, it's just like instantaneous. It's really pretty funny. So you can get good at dropping in and out of this. And interestingly, I am really curious. I've had this experience and I've heard people recount it. I hear people talk about, with hypnosis, getting to that state where they're not noticing their thoughts. And I know in meditation, it's so common for there to be like, oh, and my mind wouldn't stop rambling or talking, or I kept thinking, my thoughts were just coming and bothering me. And with hypnosis, I find it really remarkable how easy it is to get into this state where thoughts are not jumping into the foreground. In fact, I'm curious, raise your hand if you found yourself extremely distracted by thoughts during that experience. No. Yeah, so there's a neat example of how I think that with a period of meditation in the same amount of time, very often there would be a lot of mental chatter, and the lists of to-do things and what happened earlier and what's going to happen later. So, this is what got my attention in, both becoming a hypnotist and also, wanting to explore it more for myself and using it for myself, really appreciating that. It's just, there's so much more to experience and learn this way. So we focused on calm and confidence here with this today, but you could do it for so many other types of issues that you might have. And, maybe you could, write in the chat if you have any other things that you imagine you would use this kind of thing for. Yeah, the focus was going to the feeling in your body with the pulled muscle. That's pretty common. The body seems to have its way of getting our attention when there's things going on for us to. But I'm guessing that it went there, and that also it was drifting away from that place too. That you kind of go in and out. Can't. If you want to write some more about what happened with that feeling in your body related to the cold muscle. I'm curious how it evolved during the process. Something healing. Yes, I do see that. Sometimes it's almost like, something is opened. We get out of our own way, even with the mind, and sometimes it gives the body more room to heal as well. And there's so much that we still don't know about how this works, but I've seen it so many times. One time there was somebody who was having a smoking cessation session, and at the end they were sort of joking at the beginning, like, oh, and can you get rid of my pain in my toe too? And they had stubbed their toe or something the day before, and at the end of the session they're like, my toe isn't hurting anymore. So it's like I guess you can bundle your issues in there, but there is so much potential for healing. So please feel free to experiment with this. And the process, which since you were being guided through it, you probably weren't able to note the different stages, but relaxation, being able to progressively get to a place where you're just able to really let yourself be in that kind of relaxed attention, I would say. Some people say focused attention, but I think relaxed attention is a good way to think of it, where you could just that the image that I have of being on those endless car rides when I was a kid kind of helps me get right to that state that I'm kind of looking for. Any questions? Feel free to put any questions you might have right now in the chat, or feel free to follow up. And if you are experiencing this with the replay, definitely feel you're welcome to follow up with me. Oh, do I think that success is related to frequency and consistency? Yes and no. I think that there can be very powerful experiences with when the conditions are right with something like this. But for something like calm and confidence, because life conditions are changing so much, that I think the mind is supported by having kind of a regular immersion in the technique to kind of keep it calibrated in a way. But I know with hypnosis, we definitely see some lasting change. And in fact, I am really appreciating more and more how a series of sessions can really support people to have longer lasting results related to different issues. Where, when I was starting out, I would try to do as much as I could with that one session. I had an early trainer of mine he really believed in those one and done dramatic types of experiences. And I've just found that these kind of more, a little bit more time in between sessions, and even using a blending of techniques has been so supportive. And so I actually have created a package that is for people who either have the replay or are participating in this, where because you've had this experience now of this self-hypnosis, you can have a special 3-session package that I put together that I'm doing to motivate you to care for yourself. And I'm starting to raise my rates right now. So this is a way to, have the, support of these, a 3-session package to be able to address something very specific for yourself. Would be a wonderful way to care for yourself. So the 3-session package is $500. And that's a big savings on what my new rates are, which would add up to something like, I think it would be 627 without the special discount. So let me just I'll put it in a chat and I'll send it out with the replay as well. Let me get to that. Okay, put it in the chat right now. So that's there for you. And I'm going to leave this up for just a little while. I'm not sure yet how long I'm going to leave it up, because I would like to kind of motivate people to really, give themselves this gift and take advantage of this. But I would love to support you. I mean, my whole motivation for doing this is really wanting to support people in loving and caring for themselves. And I find that these practices are just so accessible in their simplicity and very empowering. I feel like they just build on themselves, like developing that level of calm and confidence and whatever else we want to address. It just gets better and better. So that's been something that I like to do for myself, for sure, with what I practice. There's another question here. So, other ideas for using this? Yeah, so any emotional challenges that there might be going on would especially be helpful. Some of the things that we have going on related to specific life circumstances, but they might be related to things like anxiety or pain or stress. So find the topic that you would probably be Googling if you were looking for help, and then ask yourself, what would you like to feel? What would maybe be the antidote feeling to that challenge? So like calm and confidence might be kind of essential, or it could be, I'm so focused on calm and confidence right now. I'm trying to remember things. So it could be allowing yourself to kind of reinterpret anxiety symptoms as excitement. Could be something like that. It could be seeing yourself get through a challenging thing that's coming up. Like, let's say somebody, has to do something stressful where you're afraid it's not going to go well, and find yourself into that state and affirm that it's, going well, or I'm moving with, what would it be? So I keep coming back to calm and confidence. But you see what I mean? To be able to identify kind of what is the challenging feeling that's going on, or where is the resistance, or what is happening with the body, and how you would like to feel or be differently. So I need to come up with a better list of that and put it out. So how do MBSR and hypnosis differ in pathways? So this is, I think, coming back to MBSR and mindfulness very specifically is related to focused attention without judgment. So there is an active practice of being able to notice and to be aware that you're noticing without adding anything else to it. So it's a very, very specific activity, even though we call it non-doing. And when we're practicing mindfulness meditation, we're present, we're aware, and letting go of judgments. So there's still an intention there. With hypnosis, the relaxed attention and then the ability to navigate and suggest these things, these states like calm and confidence. We wouldn't do that with mindfulness meditation because we're just letting ourselves be. We're not like adding anything or trying to remove anything, that there's just something about being with that can support a state of equanimity. So it's going more in the direction of equanimity. I find it really interesting. Here's the thing that I find most interesting about the difference is when we're talking about mindfulness, we often talk about the opposite of mindfulness as being on autopilot. And we'll say, you know, when you're on autopilot and you like miss your exit, or, you know, you're not paying attention, and, you know, these things that we do when we're on autopilot. And when you think about it, autopilot is really amazing. We really need autopilot. And that, to me, that is the unconscious. That's the part that we're navigating with things like self-hypnosis and hypnosis, is we're able to support that part of the mind. So, you know, we can be mindful as we're doing these practices, like the self-hypnosis does involve some, you know, conscious attention to it. But how amazing that, I don't know, I just have to smile to myself at times, because I feel like I've been maligning autopilot for, you know, the majority of my career. And now I can say, autopilot is amazing. Let's see if we can speak to that autopilot and maybe upgrade our GPS system or something like that. So let's see if there was. So explain the weekly sessions. Yes, so I like the momentum that can come with consecutive sessions, so that if there's something that we're trying to address or focus on, that that there's a concentrated amount of practice, or able to address that, so that the thread carries itself from week to week. 3 sessions would be, I would say, a minimum, but it might be more appropriate to have something like 8 sessions or even 10 for certain issues, because they tend to be more complex. So I think this is the possibility of, or this is the thing that might need some input from me. And if you were working with me and you did want to do more sessions, I would find a way to accommodate that special package into kind of whatever else we would do. But and then the kinds of things that we do during those sessions, it varies depending on the types of things that we're trying to address. So it's not a cookie cutter approach. I would say that self-hypnosis is probably more cookie cutter than anything else, but even there you have a lot of creativity and room to make adjustments. But I'm just loving the kinds of results that I see. And a way that I really love to work is with types of hypnotic techniques or hypnosis techniques where I don't tell the unconscious mind what to do. I support it to make the kind of changes with the client, or if I was doing it with myself, with my own mind, so that there isn't this level of conscious guidance to tell it what to do, because so often the unconscious knows more than we do consciously about what's going on and why it's there, and it might not even make sense to the conscious mind. If we learned what it would be like, really? That's why this is all happening? That doesn't make sense. You know, it's kind of amazing. So I do love these techniques that I can use that just tend to be so influential. I love working with things like anxiety and trauma, and there's just so much that can be done, that working with kind of talk therapy types of techniques, as wonderful and necessary as they can be, there's just something that can move so quickly with hypnosis. So anyway, I could talk about this for hours, and I would be happy to have a conversation with anybody if you want to get on the phone with me or schedule a consultation call, which you can do from my menu in my website, just the way that you signed up for this. So let me see, question about Medicare. You know, right now, hypnosis is looked at as sort of a, it's not seen as a kind of treatment for, you know, something that would have like a medical code, you know, like I don't have a license, I'm not a licensed health provider. So if you don't have what they call them ICD codes, if you don't have an ICD code, you cannot bill Medicare or insurance, unfortunately. But I mean, there's also advantages to not having that all be regulated for the profession. I think it's really given a lot of breadth, a lot of room for these types of techniques to be developed and grow without having to fit into certain formulas. So, so thank you for all these questions, and you know, definitely, you know, follow up with me if you'd like to either talk more or send me an email and let me know how the session was for you tonight. And if you're watching on the replay, listening on the replay, also feel free to get in touch. So thank you all for attending, and I'm going to stop recording. It's been delightful to get to be with you all.